Voy a jugarme un albur con una baraja de oro, que si lo gano ya estuvo, y si lo pierdo ni modo, porque yo soy de los hombres que cuando pierdo no lloro. Las mujeres son barajas que hay que saber barajear para saber cuál es la tuya, es la que vas a apostar, no ya después de perdido quieras volver a jugar. Y si juegas sin malicia, porque no les tienes miedo, esperando a sota de oros, te aparece un caballero. Dispense mi buen amigo, es que yo llegué primero. Y no se agüite, pariente quitío, que mejorcita las hemos deseado. Hay que aguantar la vara, señor, y arriba la laguna seca. El que no lo quiera creer, que le entre a los Pantera, pierde dinero y mujer, y hasta la portamoneda a veces llega a su casa con la camisa de fuera. Y ni modo de reclamos, porque yo llegué a caballo, estoy regando el rosal pa' cortar la flor de mayo. Perdóneme, rey de copas, pero yo soy de a caballo. Y si juegas sin malicia, porque no les tienes miedo, esperando a sota de oros, te aparece un caballero. Dispense mi buen
Nosotros somos escuela israelita, conocimiento plato, sal.
Power of manifest destiny. If you know what he understood as an act of destruction.
Tú eres un hombre hispano, negro, indio nativo. Tu lugar es aquí con nosotros. Nosotros somos tu verdadera familia. Deja de seguir la costumbre de nuestros opresores y toda otra maldita nación. Tú eres Israel. Nosotros somos la escuela israelita de conocimiento práctico universal. Órale.
Hey, Shalom, Lord Christ, can y'all hear me?
That was a good build with Officer Yawasop. So like I said, if you could shout out your TikTok, because you know we just came off the TikTok. So like it.
Oh yeah, it's I really just got the ISUPK www ISUPK join us now. You know, I just wanted I don't know, I thought that was good marketing, so I changed my name up. You know what I mean? To you know.
So join us now. ISUPK, join us now. We on 24/7.
Right. Yeah,
we the holy prophets of the Lord. We work straight for the Lord, and we do this 24/7.
See us coming up. But what's going down? That's how we back at it again. Another Saturday night. You're tuning into the Inconvenient Truth. This is a late night show. You know, earlier we had, you know, just right here building a brotherhood. You know, of course, I got with me Mighty Priest and Officer 5000, Officer Lahav.
Shalom Christ.
I got Mighty Priest and Officer 5000, Officer Yawasop coming out of AZ.
Shalom, Lord Christ.
Orderly, I got Mighty Priest and Officer 1000, Oscar War.
My son Christ.
Then, of course, I got Mighty Priest and Officer, the Camarada, you know, out here from Sur Califas, and myself.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, I myself and Priest and Officer Malakma out of Southern California. We out here tuning in, and of course, we're gonna talk about what's been going on. Tonight's topic is with a question. To anyone tuning in, you're more than welcome to answer. And it's an honest question to anyone tuning in. You know, put your answer in the comments, or if you want to come and join, you can let us know why we should or shouldn't. Why should we have empathy for Charlie Kirk? That's the question I posted, you know, to the people out there listening. Why should we have empathy for a man that did not believe in empathy?
So like I was just gonna say that if you play the video, which Charlie Kirk said that he didn't believe in empathy. Right.
Come right now.
If you have empathy for what happened to Charlie Kirk, you're going against Charlie Kirk, and that is anti-Charlie Kirk. Right or wrong?
Con.
He wanted you to have no empathy.
Right.
If you have empathy, you going against his moral code. Right or wrong?
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Charlie Kirk wanted Americans to have no empathy. That's one thing that he was teaching his children, and best believe his wife believed in the same thing that Charlie Kirk was believed, that empathy is an emotional what would you call it, sir? An emotional attribute.
You need it,
right? An emotional attribute that you shouldn't have in your spirit. So don't feel don't be emotional. I mean, so like, don't be empathetic, right? But we gonna let Charlie Kirk explain it himself.
The people who don't have empathy are mass murderers.
Who have
empathy.
The guy who shot Charlie Kirk didn't have empathy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you need empathy to be human. Like if you don't have empathy, that's like a sociopath trait because if that's what he means, and that means you don't put yourself in other people's shoes.
I'll look it up right now, the definition of the word empathy before we get started.
So it's like Charlie Kirk didn't have any empathy for them for our brothers and sisters being taken into those concentration camps. You know what I'm saying? All these white people crying for Charlie Kirk, they don't really follow Charlie Kirk. Because if you really loved Charlie Kirk, you would not have empathy for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And so like I said, if I could too, right? He when it came to putting your knee on George
that was
Floyd's
crazy
neck,
when he said that.
You know, you should have empathy.
He said, what's that brother's name?
George Floyd.
Yeah. He said George Floyd didn't die from the knee being put on his neck. He died because he was a drug addict. He said before the cop put his knee on George Floyd's neck, he was already saying, I can't breathe. So he basically is saying that the cop had nothing to do with George Floyd's death. So when that's not true, that cop murdered that brother.
Meaning this, that the bullet didn't take Charlie Kirk's life. It was because he bled out.
Right.
Like it was he overdosed off the what was it, blood?
Right. He overdosed. I think either overdosed or underdosed off the blood.
Yeah, kind of. So
you know,
I mean,
it's that he didn't lose his life because of the blood, because of the bullet. He lost his life because blood was rushing out of his body.
Right. I mean, Charlie Kirk was a Christian, right? Yeah. If he truly was a Christian, then he would have not gotten himself killed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because he got himself killed because he was saying things that people didn't like. And the scripture says in the book of Proverbs, you know, if you don't watch your mouth, it's gonna lead to your demise.
Right.
And that's what happened to him. You know, we can't if we wanna honor Charlie Kirk. Nah, you know, I'm being like I'm joking around, but for real, like Charlie Kirk said that George Floyd died because of drug addiction. The cop putting his nails on his neck had nothing to do with his death, with his life ending. So if I think like Charlie Kirk, the shooter is not the shooter's fault that Charlie Kirk is dead.
Right.
You understand? Charlie Kirk is dead because of his own words.
Right.
That's the equivalent of what he's saying about George Floyd.
Right.
And that's because he doesn't have empathy. He don't have empathy for George Floyd. That's why he can say that. So I'm not gonna have empathy for him. I don't give a damn that he passed away. I really do not.
Right.
I don't care about his wife, about his kids, because guess what? They don't give a damn about my people being put in concentration camps.
And so like I go ahead. So
good. I'm gonna say this real quick too. I have a lot of friends and family. A lot of friends and family that were, anti-ICE. You know, they were against the ICE raids.
Yeah.
Against what was going on with the so-called Hispanics, as far as them being detained and getting taken away. But when Charlie Kirk died, all that went out the window, and people were feeling sad for him, crying for him. Like I had family talking about, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Did you forget that Charlie Kirk was anti-immigration? He wanted, Mexicans and Central Americans locked up, wanted them deported, saying, get out of our country, go fix your country. You see that video with Venezuela, Mexico, Central America, you guys need to leave, go back to your country, go fix your country. So, that's how you felt. So, but what I'm saying is that how you gonna be for the people anti-immigration, but when this devil died, you feel sad and you're crying and you're putting rest in peace. And he talked about he was like practicing freedom of speech. Like he damn near made him look like a martyr.
Right.
You know, like if he died for you.
Right, exactly.
You know, like what the fuck? Like this devil did not.
You don't give a fuck about no Hispanic.
That's why what Jeremiah Hyman said, like you were a better person than him if you felt bad for him because he passed away. Because if you died, he would not care at all. He'd be like, oh whoa, like you shouldn't have been here. Like that's what he would say. Like if you was detained and you got killed by ICE agent, he probably just said, you know what, you shouldn't have been here. You died because you came here legally, and then he just move on with his life. But with us, it's different. With us, we go on our Facebook, Instagram, we cry about it. We're talking. We're like, we're speaking up for him. Like he died for rights.
Right.
He died just because of words. They put him right next to Martin Luther King. You showed me that. Right. They put him right next to White Jesus, Martin Luther King, and a couple other cats on Mount Rushmore.
I just disgusted at what I saw, sir.
The crazy part, sir, is that he, this was his sister. It was kind of like I didn't even get to pray for him, and he's in heaven. But guess what? He's gonna go. If he's in heaven, he's gonna meet Yahushua, who. The world ignorantly knows as Jesus Christ,
aka a white man,
and it's a black man,
right? It's a black. Like, go ahead.
It's so haggis, right? You know what I'm saying? So, he was against black and Hispanics,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So when he gets to heaven, so-called heaven.
Right, he gonna be in for a rude awakening.
Oh my God!
Hey,
Salaki, I got that clip ready. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
So this is what Charlie Kirk thinks about empathy.
Actually, I think empathy is a made-up New Age term.
Guys, I keep seeing this viral clip all over my socials.
Let's go around with it.
Which is real quick though, like he said all that about Mexicans and Central Americans, illegal immigrants, go home, you can't be here, get deported.
Right.
Went on a whole rant about blacks and Hispanics. Calling us gangbangers, violent. I see something where he's talking about we don't have fathers in our home.
Right.
We lack fathers in our home. We lack leadership, and that's why we're violent people. And he ended up losing his life in a white community.
Right?
We lose life
in Utah.
Right?
Yeah,
whereas the majority is white people.
What the fuck is in Utah?
Campus was all white.
Yeah, Mormons. You got Mormon communities in Utah, and I'm pretty sure you have little hoods out there, little gangs.
That's crazy, sir.
But it's a Mormon community. You know what I mean? Like it's white, as white as he gets out there in Utah. And that's where he lost his life.
You would think he would lose it to a black or Hispanic man because he believes we're the most violent, we're the most criminals.
Right.
So
but he lost it to his own.
Was it the governor of Utah? He said that he
exactly.
Praying, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Right.
So I think I found the right clip right here.
Let it be a nigga, please let it be.
Hey, and Charlie Kirk is a hypocrite because we're about to show a video where he says empathy is not something that we should have.
And if Americans, if you have empathy,
actually,
with what happened to Charlie Kirk, you are against Charlie Kirk.
Right.
And if you are crying and if you are protesting out in the streets, mourning Charlie Kirk, you shouldn't have no empathy.
You're anti-Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Right.
If you were pro-Charlie Kirk, you would not care that he's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
You would
will want you. Go ahead, sir.
And I'm saying he's a hypocrite because he says he's a Christian. He gave his life to Jesus Christ. When Christ was about empathy, he literally said, love your neighbor as thyself. You literally need empathy to even apply that. That's like the core to that is the only, you can only do it with empathy.
And that's a fact. And if I could, just show you that Christians, especially those Christians, white Christians, don't believe in the Bible. They don't follow the Bible because also it said if your neighbor waxing poor, you should help them. Why are they not helping the Latinos? Exactly. They only coming over here because they're poor and don't have nothing. You understand? So why you ain't helping them? that means that you don't love Latinos, you don't love blacks, because you surely do help the Africans. They do it. They help the Africans. They help the Somalians. They help the Iranians. They help the Chinese, the South Koreans.
Yeah.
They help all those people. But when it has to do with blacks and Latinos and Indians, they don't love. They don't show compassion. They don't let us have the American dream.
So and another thing too, what you saying is so heavy. This is the question that we are posing to our community, Black and Hispanics, is the Christianity
right
that they teaching us different from the white Christianity?
Different.
Because they tell us to turn the cheek and to have empathy and to forgive the criminal, but when it comes to them, they don't forget.
Like these same white Christians are the same ones who threaten these black colleges,
right?
Because of Charlie Kirk.
Right.
This is before they found out that the killer
33 hours?
was white.
He said, I was praying for 33 hours.
Yeah, he said I was praying for 33 hours. That it wasn't one of us. That it was someone from another country.
The HBU.
Like, why in the hell are you targeting black people?
Yeah.
When a white man killed another white man.
Right.
What happened to Christianity and Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
Right. What happened to that? What happened to, forgive? Why don't they forgive the killer of Charlie Kirk? That's what General Muhammad was saying.
He didn't know that he had daughters and then he had a wife. So we should forgive him.
Right. Here we go.
What?
I got the clip right here.
I think empathy is a made-up new age term.
Guys, I keep seeing this viral clip all over my socials.
The strategy is not.
Here, let me put it into context for you.
The new communication strategy is not to do what Bill Clinton used to do, where he would say, and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up new age term that does a lot of damage, but it is very effective when it comes to politics. Sympathy, I prefer more than empathy. That's a separate topic for a different time.
You see, guys?
So, of course, they're going with the defense that he took the word out of, that he doesn't hate compassion, right, or sympathy. He just hates the word empathy in itself. But here's the problem, right? Your overall narrative that you're trying to push, you understand, and then the things you say after about demonizing a certain group of people. This is what the word empathy means, right? According to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Empathy, the action of understanding, being aware of, being sensitive to, and vicariously experiencing the feelings, thoughts, and experience of another. His context was that he was saying it because he hated the way they were misusing the word. But why would you have an issue and even say that in the first place? Is it really that you hated the way they were using the word, or is it that you just hated the meaning of the word in itself? Is it because you hated the fact that America was trying to help people? You understand? A lot of the, if you notice, a lot of the arguments that, when it comes to politics that Republicans have, right, is the issue of taxes, is the issue of welfare, of government assistance. Yep. They hate that. They hate having people, they're all of a sudden worried about people abusing those programs. And that, and it's not so much the words you say, but it's also your actions. Because this country has had an action of speaking out against people on welfare, quote unquote illegal immigrants coming over here and abusing the system. You're against, helping people. And empathy is an emotion you have, to be more sympathetic and to help people, man. That's why the action of understanding, being aware of, being sensitive to, and vicariously experiencing the feelings, thoughts, and experience of another, to understand how someone else is feeling so you can help them. Charlie Kirk was against that. And he didn't have to clean up nothing. You didn't have to go to what he said about, saying, I'd rather say sympathy than empathy, because you were really trying to say, I'll say this real quick. The so-called, the white team, man, the European Americans, they're experts at being passive aggressive. You understand? They'll try to say something, and try to hide it. You understand? And that's the problem that with this oppressor, that they're not upfront about it. That's one thing, you know, that you can give Trump winning his presidency, is that now the racism is up front. And with all these previous, you know, politicians and the way, you know, movements, they hidden their racism towards you. That's and Charlie Kirk, right? He was trying to hide the fact, you know, of course, he's a Republican, so he was upfront with a lot of his racism, but here he was trying to clean it up and hide the fact that he doesn't want to feel empathetic for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He only wants to feel empathy for his people. That's really what it was. So, like, you.
And I'll say this: you gotta be like Charlie Kirk in a sense. You understand? Not saying be like him, like be white and don't have empathy, but Charlie Kirk loved his own. Charlie Kirk loved whites over all others because he was white. You understand? And what we need to understand is that Christ was the same way. Christ was not a white man. He was not evil and wicked and unjust like Trump, Charlie Kirk. But Christ loved his own.
Right.
He loved his people. You understand? And Christ today, he will see, if you were to see Christ today, he would be a black man. You understand? Black, Hispanics, Native Indians, we are the Israelites in the Bible. And Christ, when he sent his disciples out to go preach and to go heal, he didn't send his disciples to all nations. He told his disciples to go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's talking about us. We're the lost sheep, even today.
Right.
Like I say this all the time, like we're the sheep. From the animals, we're the sheep. We're the vulnerable without our shepherd.
Right.
And guess what? Christ told his disciples, go to Israelites, go to black, Hispanics, and natives, and raise the dead up among them. Don't go raise the Asians that are dead, the Arabs, the white people that are dead. Go raise up my people who are dead. Go heal those who are sick of my people.
Right.
So you think if Christ was here today, he would care about Charlie Kirk? Hell no.
Right.
He would not go out. He would not go out of his way to raise him from the dead because his wife is crying.
Right.
He didn't give a damn. You understand? So I'm not gonna give a damn. But who I am gonna give a damn about is those who Christ died for.
Right.
The ones in those concentration camps. You understand?
Damn right.
For the sister, for our brothers and sisters who are oppressed. You know, on another point, you got what's her name? Mia Taylor, or I forget her name, man. Mia Taylor. She was stabbed in a bus by a white man. Stabbed to death. She was coming out the train with her sisters, and this white man hunted her down, stabbed her, and unalived her. You understand? And guess what? Trump was president when that happened.
Right.
And I didn't see a tweet from him saying, I want to give her murderer the death penalty. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he hasn't gotten it. I'm not saying he's not paying for what he did. You understand? But when that sister passed away, I didn't see anybody doing for her. I didn't see Elon Musk doing for her and all these other people and Andrew Tate and all these guys wanted to paint murals of her.
Right.
But this white woman is unalived and they want to put her all over the streets of America. I'm not justifying what happened to that white girl, but I'm saying it goes to show we are not to, you know, we got to stick together.
Right.
We got to love each other.
Right.
You understand?
So like, and this is why, you know, you understand like why I don't believe for 1 second that Charlie Kirk was really talking about empathy. This is how he felt when it came to other nations. Look at what he says right here.
Venezuelans, Chileans, they should all go home.
Oh, really?
If they're here illegally, yes.
But like I said before, these people have been devastated by it in the past. These countries are poor.
I don't care. Go fix your own country. Don't come to our country.
Because we set up in the first place.
Hold on a second. How do we screw up El Salvador? Nicaraguans, El Salvadorians, Panamanians, Venezuelans, Chileans, they should all go home.
Oh, really?
If they're here illegally, yes.
But like I said before, these people have been devastated by it in the
I
past.
don't
These countries
care.
are poor.
Right.
You can easily research how America destroyed Salvador and Guatemala and all that.
The history's there, and then a future class, right? Go ahead, Kana. Okay, really, you can go. We can go in future class. We're gonna go over the history and show the how the U.S. Had military coups and put in dictators and had their hand in the wars and the destabilization of Latino America, of South America. Of course, he's acting oblivious to it. But the fact that he said, right, when the person was trying to say they're poor and they need help and stuff, his response was, I don't care.
Right.
And that right there shows me that he doesn't believe in empathy. That right there shows me he does not believe in empathy. I don't need him to clean up and say, oh, I was talking about sympathy. No. When he said it right there, I don't care, that lets it be known he doesn't believe in the empathy.
He doesn't have no empathy.
Even if I could.
Anybody, go ahead, Sir Salaki.
Yeah, if I could, he seems like he wins these debates because the people, they don't know research, they don't look things up. Also, the crowd that's around him, is agreeing with him. So that person that's combating him and coming up against him, now he wants to be his friend because he feel like he wants to be right along with them. You know what I mean? Like, he's not UPK, because if it was a UPK brother, you know what I mean, we wanted to give a damn how many, people out there cheering for this white man. You know what I mean? We're going to tell the truth, and we know the truth. We know the truth that they're the devil. They did destroy El Salvador and all the other places, and everywhere they touched, they destroyed it all. They know it. You know what I mean? But that's the only reason, because it's crazy to me that, the people that he usually debates, they agree with him at the end of it. Some way, how. I don't know how, but it's crazy how that happened. I just wanted to bring that out. I yield.
Also, too, Charlie Kirk, I mean, he wasn't a dumb person, right? He sounds like a person who can read some history, right? That's what I mean when I said he doesn't sound dumb. He sounds like, he's someone who can read. So it's not hard to read about how America destroyed El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, Peru. You understand? It's not hard to see how their resources were taken from them. And I feel like the reason why they don't want to talk about it is because as a white person, if you were to put yourself in a white person, if you were to sit down and really sit down and just think like a white man, just pretend you're white for like 20 minutes, you will understand why white people do not want to face what they've done.
Right.
Because number one, if you know what you did and you say, man, fuck it, then you have to accept that you're evil. You have to accept that you're an evil person inside. And then there's the white man who knows what his people did and they feel bad about it because they have a conscience. So you have to be a white man with some type of conscience of what your people did, or you just have to be a white man that's just like, man, I don't give a damn what we did. We're here now. America is great. We have streets and trees and buildings, and we have laws and we have technology. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we murdered. Because Charlie Kirk knows all that.
So just real quick, just because you said that, right? The sister said this. She said, we would probably unalive ourselves in those 20 minutes if we pretended to be Edomites for 20 minutes.
Listen, I've done it, and I said, damn. You can't be white. Like, this is why they don't want to hear about Black history, Latino history, because it's like, damn, my people did that.
Right.
I'm a piece of shit.
So they don't want to face that.
Yeah, like it's too much.
Right.
If I could, okay, so you had people who voted for Donald Trump, right? But they didn't know the repercussions that was going to come with that when they voted for Donald Trump, right? And a lot of these people that voted for Donald Trump, they had a stable business, and that business was either a farmer, and a lot of these farms have lost their workers due to what Donald Trump is pushing. He's pushing for Hispanics to be deported.
Right.
And a lot of these farms make their gains. They gain off of Hispanic labor, which is cheap labor. And a lot of these farms have lost their how would you say, the profits, right?
Yeah.
These farmers have unalived themselves to the point where it's like you voted for a system that failed you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the sister's right. The sister said that if for 20 minutes, if you was to think how they say it was to have the perception or the perspective of a white person for 20 minutes, you unalive yourself. What is it, Balama?
It's called empathy.
20 minutes. Within 20 minutes,
within
everyone's
20 minutes, right?
unaliving themselves. That's because these are violent people coming down.
Well, that's the thing. that these farm businessmen unalive themselves because they voted for something that went against their prosperity.
Right.
Right. And because they have lost money, they have lost something to the point where they no longer want to live. Now imagine if Black and Hispanics thought like that, right? And we've been oppressed for over 400 or 500 years.
Right.
We would have, our numbers would have been, what would you call it?
Dwindle?
Yeah, dwindle. Our numbers would have been dwindle. Like our numbers would have been like so small, right? They say that 13% of Blacks is what amounts in America. That's a small number. Now imagine if Blacks unalive themselves because they thought like the oppressor. Like that number would have been like 3%. That's 13%. That would have been like 3%. Now Hispanics, right? Even though America is our, we was here before the oppressor, and the California, Texas, and all these lands were known to be Hispanic territories, right? We would have probably unalived ourselves as well. But we don't have the spirit of the oppressor.
Right.
Even though we are in oppression, we still fight and we still try to thrive in the oppression and in the condition that the oppressor puts us in, which is a harsh, hellish state. It's a low state that nobody, the oppressor himself cannot survive in these conditions.
Right.
Yeah.
For Black and Hispanics, because the Lord has given us a spirit of a warrior, a fighter. We get to live through these times.
Right.
But if you forsake your heritage,
right?
Because there's a heritage in the Bible, and that is the laws, statutes, and commandments, and that heritage is for Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And when you forsake that heritage or you live outside of that lifestyle, you are going to die off like the oppressor, because that lifestyle that you live in is not congruent with the spirit that the Lord has given you. And the Lord has given us a spirit that is a mighty spirit. And even though in whatever condition that the oppressor has put us up under, we still get to survive, and we still get to, I'm not going to say prosper, because we have not prospered, but we still get to survive and live and still hold our integrity, right? Nowadays, sometimes we don't have integrity, but we still get to uphold that to a certain degree, right? And this is the thing, that if you come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, the Lord is going to bless you multiple. You know what I'm saying? The reason why you are the reason why you are living in a hellish state is because you are trying to live the lifestyle of the oppressor. You're trying to live under the perspective of Charlie Kirk.
Right.
How do I know that? Because when I look up on social media and I see brothers and sisters, and we know that we are fighting against immigration, and you forgive Charlie Kirk, who he was for immigration.
Right.
You forgive this man who wanted to seek the dogs on your grandmother, who wanted to seek the dogs on your grandchildren and separate
your tias,
you know what I'm saying,
man.
And you forgive this man. But I'll tell you something. If you stop putting your love into America and you open your eyes and you come back to your identity according to the Bible, you're gonna stop loving the oppressor, and you're gonna see that your brothers and sisters, meaning your people, matter.
Right, Kana.
And this is one thing that America is gonna teach you. It's gonna teach you how to love your own.
Right.
Because right now you love America. You love every white politician, and you serve under their military, and you love them so much. But America is going to teach you that even though you serve under the military and you were this great, what we call it?
The what?
Country?
Like serving under the country.
Empire, occupation.
No, but as serving as that. A servant, right?
A servant of
the empire. Even though you were a great servant of the empire, right? This country is gonna show you their
true colors.
Their true colors, meaning this, that they're gonna discriminate. They're gonna discriminate against you.
Right.
When you learn, you're gonna say, but why are you discriminating against me? I serve this country. I'm a veteran. And guess what? Man, I done had a conversation with a brother, and he said that he served in the Vietnam War, in the Korean War. And when he came back and he went to go get served at his restaurant, and they told him, we don't serve your kind. And he was with a Mexican brother. And he thought that they were talking to the Mexican brother. And guess what? This is we're talking about the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And this is a brother that had a conversation in my slavery. You know what I'm saying? And then he said that his grandfather was facing discrimination. But his grandfather thought that they were talking to the Hispanic. But no, they were talking to him. And that brother was a Judite, meaning that he was a black, so-called black Negro. And when this is a lot of Hispanics and the Negroes are gonna be devastated. You'd be like, why me? I served America. I went to fight for this country. And guess what? You're gonna be discriminated.
If I could, right? So there's this video I came across, right, of Charlie Kirk. And this is another example of the racism that he has towards Latinos, man.
Uh-huh.
And this is what he said in regards to Claudia Sheinbaum to Mexico. This is what he called it. Check this out.
Mexico the most. I'm sorry, this woman, the president of Mexico, is talking about leading an uprising in the interior of America, and she's got a lot to work with because she has a lot of sleeper cells here. Has Mexico and the drug cartels declared war on America? It's a good question. Do you know what she's against? She's against the big, beautiful bill. If Miss Steinbaum is against the big, beautiful bill, count me as an enthusiastic supporter. Because she knows the current composition of the American-Mexico economic relationship is parasitic in nature. Play cut 252.
needed, we will definitely mobilize because we absolutely cannot accept any new taxes on remittances sent by our hardworking folks in the U.S. to their families back home in Mexico.
This is a president of a foreign power. She's not a governor of a state. She's the president of Mexico. The nerve of this person, of this woman. She is meddling in our own country affairs. I guarantee you somebody in your neighborhood has died from fentanyl overdose sourced from fentanyl from Mexico. I guarantee you somebody in your local area has had their house broken into because of the open borders brought to you by...
Hey, Slovakia.
Go ahead,
once again, these are lies. These are straight up lies. First of all, did you know fentanyl don't even come from Mexico? It comes from China.
Right. China. If I could,
it
right?
It comes from China. Like, all these are lies that this dude bringing up, and people just feed right into it because he's a white man. And that's why the Bible speaks about in Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, if I could.
Yes, sir.
Get it right now.
Second Thessalonians?
Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. I can read it if you just be quick.
Okay, come.
Yeah, it says that ye be not, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that the men of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. You understand? So the sin of man be revealed. Who's that son of man be revealed? Is that white man, that white man. You understand? And he's going to be revealed. And that's what the ISPK do. We revealing the white man being the devil that the Bible speaks of. And now everybody's starting to see. Everybody's starting to see that, damn, these people are devils, man. Damn, these people are liars, man. Look, they don't love us. Like you're saying, they blacks and Latinos going to have to wake up and find out that, the hard way that, America will never love you. And, white man would never love you. You know what I mean?
Right. You know what's crazy though? Like, it shows how hard-headed we are. Like this devil, like everything he say, like, you know what I'm saying? Like how like upfront he is about being racist against Hispanics and blacks.
Right.
And we still don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, going back to the point, which is we still crying over him. Crying, and, you know, and feeling empathy, sorrowful, all of that for a devil that hate us.
Right.
Man, like I'm saying, like we got a long way to go.
Right, sir.
Go ahead, guys. Like,
no, I was just saying real quick. He's complaining about white people suffering from fentanyl, right? I have a crazy idea that might just help you white people out, man. If Mexicans are these evil foreigners are bringing in fentanyl and it's a threat to American society, I have a solution for you devils, man. Oh, for you white people. How about y'all just stop taking drugs?
Right.
How about y'all just get off the fentanyl?
Just don't do it.
Just don't do it. What did Nancy Reagan say? Just say no, white man and woman. Just say no. How hard is that? Don't do drugs and the cartels will cease to exist.
Right.
But you don't say that.
There is a lot of white people on fentanyl, man.
Right.
I'm like, hey, man, look, I'm always up and down the street going to my slavery, taking buses and trains. I be seeing these white folks on that fentanyl or whatever it is, whatever the hell it is that they're on.
Right.
They're like this. They're like this.
They're on drugs.
I'm like, God damn, like, what the hell are you on?
Breakdancing.
Well, look, they're like, everybody going around and everything.
Yeah, they're breakdancers.
And at the same time, when you see a white man like this, head like this way, you see an Ishcraft right there selling oranges and fruits and getting his hustle on. Flowers, little Ishcraft lady with her kids,
mangoes,
selling food,
oranges.
And they try to make it seem like we the problem. No, we are not the problem. You are the problem. And we all know too, like we're not the ones bringing in the drugs. Like it might seem like it, but you guys are the ones that are providing the drugs to us,
Right.
And you might find some Christ or Judite, black, Hispanic man selling the drugs out there.
Right.
But you guys bring that in by the, pounds or whatever,
Boatload.
boatloads, you know.
Hell yeah.
Y'all buy it. Y'all buy the drugs. You understand? Slicer.
No, real quick, and then the fentanyl come from what? Come from China.
Yeah. Right.
Why don't y'all blame the Chinese for the fentanyl epidemic?
Blame Mexico.
Yeah, blame the man. Bro, what is it? Y'all such hypocrites, right? Because what do y'all like to tell people? Y'all say, don't blame the white man for your problems. Right. Well, white man, why are you blaming Mexicans for your problems?
Right.
You don't have to take drugs, white man. You don't have to take drugs. You don't have to take fentanyl. You don't have to take meth. You don't have to take heroin, cocaine, all that stuff, right? Yep. If other people are taking drugs, it's because they're copying you. Y'all have brought that in here with your lifestyle, party lifestyle in Hollywood. It made that famous. And everyone else is just copying y'all. So maybe y'all should just stop doing the badness and people will stop that. This society will probably be better if y'all stop doing evil acts in the society, white men and women.
Yeah, and if I could,
go ahead, sir.
And if I could, America loved drugs because drugs keep the people asleep and not in fighting mode. It keeps them asleep, and that's why they legalize weed. Weed is a peaceful drug. When you smoke weed, you don't want to rise up. You don't want to be courageous. You don't want to do nothing. You don't even want to change a tire when you smoking weed. A weed head don't even know how to change a tire. Right. You know what I mean? But a crackhead does, by the way. But what I'm saying is, so weed heads is like, I just want to put that out there. Like, weed heads, y'all need to get off weed because y'all way worse than crackheads. But for the most part,
oh, my bad. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, for the most part, like I said, America loves drugs because it makes you docile. It makes you not a warrior. That's why you know what I'm saying? So that's what they do. You know what I mean? They give you drugs or alcohol. You know what I mean? Like they did the Native Indians. You know what I mean? And black people. That's why the liquor store, it was a liquor store corner on every corner in the ghetto, in church. Because those three things makes you docile and weak.
So like, sir, I got a special announcement to play since to touch on that, right? Check this out.
Say that
Salakia.
I was gonna say that word.
What a court.
That's funny. I'm gonna say that like even with the weed though, like weed nowadays, like they're saying that the weed can make you a schizophrenic now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of cases you can look this up where marijuana, weed, or whatever it is making people have schizophrenia now. So it's not even like the same weed you used to have back then. The weed that you had back then was like, I guess it was actually coming from the plant.
Yeah.
Now the weed, they throw all kinds of chemicals or whatever on that plant, and now people are becoming schizophrenic from the weed. Go ahead.
It was like that when I was growing up. I read that myself on my own phone. That if your mind is still maturing, it can cause effects and give you stuff like that, mental disorder, like schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. But what they did is they promoted it to the point to where people accepted it as harmless, and that's how they made all that money off of it.
I remember when I turned 18, you can get a little doctor's note. Get a little doctor's note, and you go straight to the.
I told them my back hurts.
Prescription, yeah.
There you go.
Doctor didn't do nothing. He was like
$50-$80.
Your back hurts.
They'll give it to you.
Right. Here you go.
No, yeah. They won't even check you. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, your back hurts. Okay, yeah.
They already knew what it was.
You just
my elbow. Oh, my elbow hurts.
Yeah.
My neck and my back.
How much were you getting?
No, it was from like $50 to $80 that you were paid for that.
Well, how much were you getting though?
What do you mean?
When you went to the clinic?
You can get whatever you want.
No, I'm just playing.
I know you know. I almost got him.
You can do whatever you want. You know, like whatever you want.
No, man, but that's how easy it was. I remember though, like it being like easy access, going to the clinic and getting all kinds of weed and shit.
Yeah.
And then like imagine this, you doing this at 18. Imagine you 18, 16, 17, whatever, 15, 14, smoking weed. Now you 32, now you 35, 40, 45. You know, you've been smoking weed that long, for sure you're gonna have, you know, mental problems or that weed that you're smoking.
And he's just trying to find any way to blame Black and Latinos.
Right.
Because he said, I'm sure one of your houses got broken into because of these migrants. I'm sure, you know, people are dying because of the fentanyl that's coming from Mexico.
Oh, so
like all that shit is bullshit.
My bad, real quick. But how much weed do white people smoke?
Right.
You know, all that weed and pills and alcohol, goddamn, they go all out. They go to college and universities and they going all out with those weed and pills.
Right.
You know, but like they put the blame on us. They make it seem like we're the ones that are alcoholics and drug addicts. Man, them kids go to college, man. Them white kids go to college and they're full out drug addicts in that college.
So like, so I'm gonna while you brothers talk, I'm gonna try to look something up.
So like, I remember when I was in the world, right, and getting high, you know, like you will come with a dub, right, or you will come with an eighth, and these niggas will have ounces. They'll have like
for real.
They'll have all the weed of the world.
I
you know
remember.
What I'm saying? So like, you know, I don't live that lifestyle no more. You know what I mean? And I'll never get high ever again. You know what I'm saying?
They're the best drug abusers.
Yeah, cause but them niggas would have like plethora.
They have all them bongs. They have bongs with lights on them. And
bro, they got money.
Yeah.
Got rich families. You know, that's why they got all that stuff.
And listen, like white people are addicted to opioids.
Right.
They go to the clinic and get addicted to pills. Like that has nothing to do with fentanyl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like who shot Charlie Kirk? It wasn't an immigrant. Well, they call it immigrant.
But like you remember,
he
was white.
I was gonna say, do you remember Charlie Kirk talking about anything that goes on in those colleges and universities?
No,
like deaths and overdoses and things like that happen in those colleges. I didn't hear him talk about none of that.
There's probably a video out there. Bro.
I found this article real quick, sir, if I could. And you know, just let me show you something real quick. It says, look, this is from Footprints to Recovery. It says both genders have unique issues when it comes to addiction. Men typically have higher rates of alcohol, tobacco, or illicit substance dependence, right? And it separates it into categories. It says men have higher rates, addiction of age. I'm trying to go to the section where it says race, right?
I seen that.
Just saw it right now. Drug use by race. Now this is from back in 2018, right? It says the 2018 National Survey on Drug Use and Health breaks down the rates of substance use disorders by race. It says 4.8% of Asian Americans, 6.9% of Black or African Americans, 7.1% of Hispanic or Latinos, 7.7% of whites, 9.3% Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islanders, and 10.1% of Native American or Alaskan natives. You understand? Of course, you know that there's probably more to this. Yeah. Because, you know, of course, it's saying that the tribe of, well, I don't know.
But guess what, Malama?
Right.
Ain't there, what they call them? 5.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to point out. But I want to say this, right? Because, right.
5 cent Americans?
Right. But what's crazy is that he's trying to blame, you know, the Latinos for the drug use. But who uses more drugs than Latinos? White people, according to this right here. And as for the tribe of Gad, let's say that this is true, right?
Yeah.
They're not foreigners coming in, so they can't be the ones bringing the drugs in. You understand?
But another thing too that
right.
5 cent, what they call 5 cent?
You got culture vultures.
Yeah,
you know, you understand?
But what they call them?
$5 Indians.
Yeah,
right?
$5 Indians. There you go. I thought I was calling them 5 cent. $5 Indians. These are fucking these are oppressors who are identifying themselves as Native Americans, but they have nothing to do with the indigenous people of this land. These are just people who their forefathers. You could look at. I gave you this before, Malagman. I gotta look it up, but these are oppressors who manipulated Native American sisters.
So like, coming out real quick. It says, not to cut you out, just real quick, because when I'm reading this, right, it says Native American or Alaskan natives. I don't know if that's including the Inuit, the what they call them, the Eskimos. I know that's some say that's a derogatory term towards those, but we know that the Inuits and the Native Americans are two distinct different tribes or two distinct races, right? You got Japhet and Israel. So even there was saying that that's not showing. The point is that it's more than likely that heavier users of drugs is not so-called blacks and Hispanics. That's right here, and it's not so-called Native Americans. Go ahead, Commandant.
Right. So this is the what to know about the killers of the Flower Moon, a guide to the Osage murders, right? And these are oppressors who let me what is it? Damn, it's not showing. Salakia.
No,
anyways, go ahead, Malak.
No, I'll say so. Just to touch on the point right back to what Charlie Kirk was saying, he was trying to blame Mexico for the drugs, you know, and the threat to. You should just tell your people to get off the drugs. Tell your people to stop using them, and y'all will be safe, right? It's that easy, right? If you practice what you preach, because you tell us that we can't blame you for anything, we can't blame you for our problems, but y'all can blame us. What made Charlie Kirk so famous? You understand?
And if I could, this just shows you how weak in the mind they are, that white people are, because they own drugs more than us,
right?
In their kingdom. What are you running from? What are you hiding from?
Right.
We know what we hiding from. We know why we on drugs. We know why we alcoholics, because we have been oppressed. Because you oppressed us.
Damn right.
The Native Indians is on the reservations getting drunk because you forced them to drink at a young age. You forced them to, use drugs.
Right.
We know why we do it. Why do you do it when you have everything? Why do you unalive? Why do you kill yourself and jump off a bridge when you lose your job or you lose your 401k? We don't do it when we lost cities. We lost countries. We lost everything. And we still didn't do what you did. We didn't do what you did. We're stronger than you. We're better than you.
Like, sir, I'm gonna play this. Playing this.
If I could, wasn't there a mass shooting right after?
Right.
Right after Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
Right.
So it was Charlie Kirk assassination, and then a day after, I think around the same time, a little kid did a mass shooting and then unalived himself. Right.
Right.
And then before that, you had this transgender who shot up the Catholic Church.
Right. The concert.
See, America is looking in the wrong place.
Right.
They're looking at us, so-called Hispanics, Native Indians, looking at black people like we're the problem. Trump went to D.C. when D.C. has been 23% lower of crime from 2023 or 2024. But he's in D.C. trying to stop crime. He's out here trying to supposedly stop crime by deporting us Latinos just because we're here illegally. All of a sudden, now they want to do that. When the real problem is these white people. Right. That's the real problem. Because these white people, I don't know, they weren't on fentanyl. I'm not saying fentanyl is not a problem. It's a problem.
Right. But
listen, there's a lot of problems, right? Girls are getting raped every day. Mm-hmm. People are dying from drugs every day. People are committing suicide every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? How about you talk about these mass shooters?
Right, sir.
And what was Charlie Kirk's stance on the the January 6th riots?
What's it?
The
January
January
6th. Oh,
That's a good question.
What was his stance on that?
Man. I think there was a video.
That's when they stormed the Capitol?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they stormed the Capitol building.
Yeah, no, there's a video on him addressing that. I just can't recall what he
Donald
said.
Trump said they're good guys.
Right.
They're out there saying,
you have to wonder.
Kill you.
Right.
He's over there. Those are good guys.
Along the same lines, but he was saying that. Oh, well, you can find a video.
I'm pretty sure because he supports Donald Trump, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He's for.
Salaki, I'm gonna just finish playing this real quick because I want to hear the part where he says what he called Mexico.
For all this uprising that we are seeing, is the Mexican government behind this? Could be. Is the Mexican government pulling any strings? They got plenty of material to work with. 1 in 4 people in California were not born there. And yet they are declaring insurrection against us. They're cheering it on and they're waving Mexican flags.
Good.
They're waving foreign flags on U.S. soil. They're bragging and taunting you that they've taken over the American homeland. I think some missile strikes possibly on some cartel members and their homes might be appropriate.
That we took over the American homeland.
Did he just say that we might have cartel members in our homeland?
Yeah.
See, that's the type of stuff. That right there is why he got killed.
He's lying. Ain't no Mexican saying that we took over.
Like, you see, that's the problem when you don't have empathy. Like, see, Charlie Kirk was not a good person.
Right.
Why? Because you have people waving the Palestinian flag. We say this all the time. Nobody has a problem with that. The reason why we're waving the flag is because we're being oppressed, just like Palestinians are being oppressed.
Right.
We're not being bombed. We're not being bombed, but we are being oppressed, and that's a sign of what? Resilience.
Mexicans do not say we're taking over the
land.
Right.
If anything, the most you'll get is that this used to be our land.
Right.
That's
or this is our land.
What? This is our land, but no one's. This is our land. This is Mexico, but no one says we're taking over.
Right.
You know, that's damn near unheard of.
Taking over what? What are we taking over? What was rightfully ours? What used to be? We're home. How the hell are you saying we're taking over our home? You know why he says that, sir? Because he's projecting his shame and his anger into himself. That's really what it is.
And and what he's saying about we might be hiding cartel members in our houses, like you're insinuating people to harm us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bro, like you probably never even been in a Hispanic home. Like you probably don't even know Hispanics at that level to say that. You know, that's like me saying, oh, every white man is hiding mass shooters.
Right.
Every white family more than likely has weapons stored for mass shooters.
Kids to be mass shooters.
Hey, the father did help the son.
That's what I'm saying.
Just so you understand.
He's raising up children to be mass shooters.
Right. That is absolutely that is racist.
Right. I got a scripture right to touch on what was going on with Charlie Kirk right in that little rant he said. It says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." Notice the language he was using. They're taking over our homeland. What he say? He's talking about cartels. He's talking about, the insurrection. I forgot what he was saying, that they're doing an insurrection there. Why is he saying those things? Who did that? Let's see. Let's look at the history of his people. Who came and stole this land from the Native Americans? His people.
Right.
Who committed an insurrection on January 6th? His people.
Right.
Who is the originators of the cartels? His people. Who are the cartels mimicking? Right? His people. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that did all that extorted businesses and made them, sell their stuff, pay a tax. Yeah. The Italians, I'm sure, were trying to sneak in people from Italy and the same thing with the Irish. And they were the ones more likely that originally did all that. But yet they projected onto us so that they can hide that shame, right? For that violence against that brother.
A coyote?
A coyote, right.
Right. We learned that shit from them.
Right.
They were the ones that were trying to bring their people over here And we learned that from him. Everything we learned, how to drive by, how to be gangsters.
Right.
You know what I mean? We learned that from the oppressor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Bugsy Siegel. And what kind of oppressor? Right. Bugsy Siegel was a damn Jewish.
Right.
Meyer Lansky was Jewish. You know what I'm saying? So we learned from bastards.
Right.
And now we have bastardized ourselves. But that's the reason why we got to turn back to the Lord. You know what I mean? So we could be children of Israel. You know what I mean? Because right now, the way the Lord is looking at Black and Hispanics, despite everything that's going on in the world, you know what I mean, which has nothing to do with us, you know what I mean, we should take care of our own. You know what I'm saying? So the way that we should carry ourselves is just caring about one another. When I say one another, meaning Black, Hispanic, and Native American.
Right.
You are so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. You are a true descendant of. You are a true biblical descendant of an Israelite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you don't carry yourself like that, guess what? Because the lifestyle that you carry is not congruent with the spirit that the Lord has given you, and you want to join hand in hand, the Lord is going to punish you. The Lord is going to punish you because that spirit is not congruent with you. If you're a Black, Hispanic, Native American, you have to give your love, and you have to pour your love to your community. And I don't mean because you live in the damn suburbs and you give your love and you pour out your love to somebody who's your neighbor. Your neighbor, according to the scriptures, is another so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. That's what it is.
Kind of, if I could, right? I got this scripture right here. You know, Shalom, can I listen?
Let's take it. I'm good.
So real quick, just I was going to read a book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 3, right? And this goes back to Charlie Kirk's rant, sir. It says, "The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. Thou dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down?" Charlie Kirk, right, was full of pride, and it deceived him, right? He really thought he was untouchable, and his whole rants were about saying how great his people are and how terrible we are, sir. That's really what it was, you know.
Like, real quick though, like this cat right here, and then think about this: the pride of that heart has deceived.
Right.
Like, this cat was so Donald Trump, you know, fought for Donald Trump. Like everything is based off Donald Trump, right? Based off his agenda, what he believes, and you know, all of that. And then Donald Trump did not give a fuck about nothing when he passed away. Did you see when they asked him what he thought, what he thought about when Charlie Kirk passed away?
Right. Then he say something about he's like the son to him. I'm gonna show you where Donald Trump was. This is what Donald Trump was.
Look, this cat said, like, they asked him, like, how do you feel? How do you feel about Charlie Kirk passing away? He ignores the question, says, like, you know, we're building something right here in the back. Like, you know, we're getting it done. You know, he ignored the question. And then the way he looked, like, he just did not give a fuck about him passing away.
Right.
You know. But, like, you know, this cat, like I said, like, he was so Donald Trump and, you know, MAGA. You know, when he became the president, when Donald Trump became the president again, he was crying.
Damn.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You can find that video of him crying and
Charlie Kirk crying?
Yeah, Charlie Kirk is crying, talking about we did it. You know, I worked so hard. And then when, you know, like I said, when he passed away, Donald Trump was like, whatever about it. Like, he didn't even care.
So like, sir, just not to deviate from the topic, just real quick. Israel Jacob, I'll try to answer your question. He asked, Salaki, I was wondering if you're unclean and you touch stuff like your couch and bed and you get clean and touch the unclean couch because you were unclean, would you be unclean again? I'll get back to you on that question. I'm pretty sure if everything clears up, depending on what it is, if you're unclean, right, because you touch something, you know, like if you're a man and you touch something, you know, you're just unclean until sundown. Everything you touch is going to be unclean, but more likely that will also be unclean until sundown. I'll get back to you on clarification and check in. Now, if you for sisters, if you're going through your monthly cycle, you're unclean 7 days. So because the uncleanliness is still going on, you can be clean. You can touch her, wait till sundown, be unclean and wait till sundown. You'll be clean. But if you touch her again, because the cleanliness continues for 7 days, you'll be unclean again. If that answers your question. But select, sir.
Nah, good, man. You good. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Donald Trump had no care, no compassion, no empathy for Charlie Kirk when he passed away.
Right.
So what's up? What we got next?
I got this right here. It says Charlie Kirk was like a son to Donald Trump. Trump last night at the Yankee game. He's throwing himself at the Yankee. Fancy to the white
Yeah, that don't look like he's grieving, brother. He's not grieving too much.
Listen, if you support Donald Trump, you a MAGA supporter,
right?
Hey, that should be a eye opener for you,
right?
Meaning, what? Like when you gone, he ain't gonna give a fuck,
right, sir?
He ain't gonna care nothing.
Right, that's hilarious.
Charlie Kirk thought he was gonna survive like Donald Trump survived. No.
Salaki, give me 1 second.
Once again, man, Charlie Kirk, man, he just put out all these lies, about, the statistics and things like that. Even you got to realize, even with the, even with the murder rate, you know what I mean? Those statistics are not accurate. It's not accurate at all. You know what I mean? And you should know, and especially when you read anything from the FBI. The FBI been hating niggas for the longest.
Right.
You know what I mean? The FBI, put drugs in our communities, and guns in our communities. So those are the same people that say, "Oh, look at the rate of them killing one another." Yeah, they put the Mac 10s, 11s in the ghetto. A Mac 10 was a military gun. It's a military gun that got to get signed off, and it ended up in a 15-year-old hand. That's how Mac 10s got in the hoods, because the FBI put crates of guns into the ghettos so we can unalive one another. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it wasn't MS-13, it wasn't 18th Street, it wasn't an illegal immigrant who unalived Charlie Kirk. It was a white man just like him.
Right.
Oh
man, well let's go into the shooter. I just wanted to hear more about about just get that comment he made, man. But it's all good. Yeah, we basically got a rip of what he meant when he was complaining about a Clyde Sheinbaum in Mexico.
With Wix. For your words, create your brand.
Who was Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old Southwest Utah resident suspected of killing Charlie Kirk? Officials said bullets found with the alleged rifle used had messages written on them.
Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this, ? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, ! Catch, ! Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, chow, chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
Those messages appear to be part anti-fascist, part internet meme culture.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University.
A video from Facebook shows Robinson receiving a scholarship to Utah State University. The Daily Mail reports he was a student at that school for 1 semester in 2020.
So, Salai, real quick, as you're seeing, right, the pictures of this man, You see how he was able to bypass all this, sir. You know what I mean? No one would suspect this guy. This guy don't look like, you know what I mean? Like, he don't look so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American, so he don't look like a threat to nobody. At least that's the narrative that's always pushed, right? The way we look, we always get profiled. If they would have profiled this oppressor, Charlie Kirk would be alive today.
Let me ask you a question. Do he got military background?
I don't know. But I mean, knowing these Edomites, they do get trained from a young age to go. They go hunting and all that. Yeah, so he probably, probably just grew up hunting.
Yeah, he is a good hunter. You know, they do know how to hunt.
He was a cunning hunter, sir.
Yeah, that is a fact. You know, but even more so, you know what I mean. The Lord, the Lord make alive, the Lord kill, the Lord make alive. You know what I mean?
Right.
So at the end of the day, the Lord is over all this. You understand?
And what's crazy is that, he did this and everyone was quick to blame. This was the response, right? Look at the response to for individuals. We'll go to this one.
Fight back, white man, 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 fight back, white.
And the caption reads, right, in Huntington Beach, a coastal city in Orange County, California, long associated with entrenched white supremacist gangs, a neo-Nazi rally has broken out following Charlie Kirk's death. Demonstrators are chanting, "White men fight back," framing the gathering as a show of extremist solidarity.
Damn.
Good night. Here's my question, right? And to anyone watching, fight back from what? You don't understand? Like, fight back from what? This was the shooter. So in this, what are you going to say about him? Like, what are you going to fight back against?
He had no political party affiliation, according to voter registration.
Put some money on that man's books.
Vote in the last two elections. Officials said a family member said he became more political in recent years.
In that conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
Photos from his mother's now deleted Facebook show a family apparently enjoying time together. There's also an apparent Halloween photo from 2017 with Robinson in a Donald Trump costume. No motive has been identified. Robinson was in his third year of an electrical apprenticeship program at Dixie Technical College in southwest Utah, according to the state's school officials. Utah's governor said charging documents, which could have more information on the suspect, should come early next week. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Thank you for watching.
You see how they not trying to vilify that white man? They not trying to vilify him because, they will be vilifying themselves. If this was a Black, Latino, and Native Indian, he will be vilified. They will be at his mama house. They will be at his grandmama house. They will be everywhere. You know what I mean? But, they can't do anything because it's their own. What are you going to do against your own? You can't beat yourself up. You can't beat, you know what I mean? Cause more violence, and prove us right. You're gonna prove America right that you're violent. See, America is violent. White people are violent, and they're trying to make it seem like we're violent. Yes, we commit crime, but why do we commit crime? We know why we commit crime. 500 years of oppression will make anybody do crime. But you not oppressed. No one's been oppressing you. 2,000 years, you've been on top. You've been on top, ruling, going over, conquering, doing what you want to do. You've been on top. White people have been on top for a very long time, and now it's time for them to come down.
Right, sir. I mean, what does General Commander Johanna say? They're sore winners. That's what they are, sore winners, man. And they just, it's like it was in them. It's put in them to do these things. You understand? You can't fix what the Lord has made crooked.
Right.
You know, so that's why all that goes down. All that goes down, and y'all wondering, you know, y'all think y'all can make peace with this man. When this man does not have it in his heart to make peace, war is in his heart, as the scriptures say.
Exactly.
Like he'll make peace, but he ain't gonna make peace with you.
Right.
He'll make peace with his own people. The empathy thing, he has empathy for his own people,
right?
But not for you. And that's where we get mixed up at, man. And you know, a lot of that has to do with the church. You go to church, you hear about love and compassion and mercy and all that, and so for some reason you think that you got to give mercy and compassion to everybody.
Right.
You got to understand that mercy and compassion ain't coming back to you. Like them white folks, man, they ain't gonna have mercy and compassion on you. You know,
I'm gonna show you.
They gonna have empathy for you when you pass away and you're dead, and that is gonna go into what we was talking about earlier.
Right.
Like today, when Charlie Kirk passed away, a lot of Hispanics felt bad. Fluffy, what's that cat's name? Fluffy. Gabriel Iglesias.
Right. Yeah.
Gabriel Iglesias. We were talking about, you know, pretty much having compassion on Charlie Kirk.
Right.
A lot of Christ, a lot of Mexicans and Central Americans felt bad for what happened to Charlie Kirk. You know, they had empathy for him, but white folks will not have compassion on you. You know, when there's a brother that passed away. He was running from the ICE agents. He passed away on the 210 freeway out here in the San Gabriel Valley.
Damn.
And then you look at the comments. You look at the comments of what white folks were saying. They were saying, "Oh, well, you shouldn't have been running on the freeway. You shouldn't have been running from the ICE agents. Oh, that's one less illegal immigrant in America." You know, making jokes, laughing. You know, they went on a whole rant on what happened to this brother right here. You know, but when it came to Charlie Kirk, oh man, you know,
no one's saying it. Yeah, that's
you
how
know,
you know.
everybody's feeling bad and sad, and you know, don't make fun of him. You know, it shows you like the hypocrisy, man. And Hispanics need to see that, man. You got to be able to see what the hell, like, you know, what's going on.
And if I
when
could,
one of them, they'll feel sad and feel bad and, you know, get angry. But when it comes to you dying, man, they gonna make a joke out of you.
Right.
They ain't gonna, and also they ain't gonna care about your kids, but they care about this white man kids when he's good. I think it was a basketball player or something like that. Oh yeah, that football player, that goofy football player, you know, that's been going around. He gave, you know, Clerk, he made sure that Charlie Clerk kids going to college, this and that, you know what I mean? Because they don't have a father now. When this dude know, I guarantee you, he know a lot of kids in the ghetto that don't got a father and ain't gonna do nothing for those black kids. Ain't gonna do nothing for those Latinos, you know what I'm saying? But he gonna get into a goddamn devil that he's already good. He already got life insurance. He already rich. He don't need your goddamn money, stupid black man. You know what I'm saying? Salaki, that just frustrated me for a little second. Gave a racist some money.
That's for real.
Gave some racists some money. Gave some little racist babies some money. They don't need any goddamn money.
Right. Well, you want to talk about, you know, on the topic and the well, what's the term, tomfoolery going along, you know, that's going on for, you know, feeling compassion for this Edomite. Look at what Fluffy posted, and this is circling the internet right now. It's titled "Comedian Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias Reacts to the Charlie Kirk Situation." He said this. He said, "Free speech should not be a death sentence. If you didn't like what kind of things the man said, you had the choice not to listen. Taking a man's life because you disagree with him is cowardly. At the end of the day, he was a father husband, and a human being.
You know what, I wish that with all that free speech talk, like, come on, man, shut the fuck up, bro, with that free speech talk. You know, like,
right.
You know, why don't y'all say that about us when we talking?
Right.
You know, when we gotta say, well, the white man is the devil, and you know, the America is gonna be destroyed, the ICE. All of a sudden, like, you know, when it comes to us, they want to talk like, oh, you guys are being racist. You shouldn't say that. You know, you guys are spreading hate. You know, like that free speech doesn't, you know, it doesn't apply to us. You know, they want us to shut up.
Right.
But with this devil right here, it's you know, he was just speaking his mind, free speech. No one should. Well, what did it say? Can you repeat? Can you read it again?
It says no one should. It says free speech should not be a death sentence. If you didn't like what kind of things the man said, you had the choice to not listen.
Man, like, you know what? And that's what that's how they should feel about us. You don't like what we say, don't listen.
Right.
You know? You don't like hearing the white man's the devil. You don't like hearing about what's gonna happen to America. You don't like how we talk about women and how we talk about run your household. You know, how we talk about black and brown unity. Man, don't listen.
Right.
You know, but they don't feel like that about us. But with Charlie Kirk, you know, you know, you don't like what he says, man, don't listen. Man, Fluffy, man, he a goofy, bro. You know, this cat right here. How do you feel about ICE?
Right. I didn't hear a word from him. I didn't see no post from him. Can say if it's out there, right? If someone has the post of Fluffy talking about, you know, how he's against the ICE raids, please show that. Please show, because I haven't seen or heard one word from him.
I believe it was signed because you know what? I think I looked him up about a month ago and tried to see what he thought about the ICE, and I think he was silent.
Right.
You know, but all of a sudden, right. Charlie Kirk passed away, and he got something to say.
He got something to say now, right? He said it's cowardly. At the end of the day, he was a father, husband, and a human being. I'm gonna correct you on something, Fluffy. Charlie Kirk was not a human being. He did not believe in empathy. Human beings feel empathy, Fluffy. And I'm gonna be honest, your last comedy was not. You weren't funny, dude. Your last comedy was whack.
And here's the thing, though, too. Like, he's saying that he's a human being, but he didn't look at you as a human being. You know, he looked at you like just like some piece of garbage that, you know, that just comes and goes.
Right.
Go ahead, y'all. So you gonna say something?
Yeah, talking about he was a husband, he was a father, he was a, you know, all these things. They don't say that when they, you know, ripping, you know, Latinos away from their kids and things like that, or the brother that, you know, ran on the highway and got, you know, unalived. You know, they wasn't saying, hey man, we shouldn't say that, man. I know he was illegal, but at the end of the day, he's somebody's father, somebody's brother. No compassion.
I'm gonna go back to it to show you the comments that were made real quick.
No compassion. And that is why America got to get destroyed. That is why they have to get unalived.
Right.
You know what I mean? Since they love blood, blood is going to pursue them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And all the words that, listen, that's why the Most High is so, you know, excellent when it comes to this. He's going to judge you, you know, even by the things that you say. You know what I mean? And also, guess what? The scripture says, should not a dog move his tongue against the children of Israel? Paraphrasing, of course. Like, people think that they can say anything to us because they don't think that we are Israelites. They don't think that God hears us. They don't think that God's got our back. You know what I mean? God is sick of, you know, what they doing to us. You know what I mean? You know, we cry. Listen, that's why it's so important that the ISBK be righteous. And that's why we are righteous, man. You know what I mean? And we send up prayers. We send up curses too. We send up curses. I pray you understand that, you know, we pray our enemy fall. You know what I mean? We don't pray that our enemies thrives and get better soon and, you know, and change. He would never goddamn change. Like the scripture says, who can make straight that he made crooked?
Right.
The white man would never goddamn change, man.
If I could, sir, if anyone's wondering why so many Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are having an outpour of love and support for Charlie Kirk and his family and his wife and kids, and considering them and calling him and a father and a human being. The image I just shared is the reason why. Right? Look at this image right here. And yeah, you got Abraham Lincoln, you got John F. Kennedy, you got Martin Luther King, and of course you got Charlie Kirk in this picture. But look at the figure all the way at the right, which is to the world is white Jesus. White Jesus, or Cesar Borgia, is the reason why our people show so much love and support. Is the reason why you think Charlie Kirk knew what he was talking about. It's the reason why y'all think that he was telling the truth and he was on to something, because you think he is God. You think they are gods. And that right there in itself is an example of white supremacy. One thing that I've always noticed, sir, or Adewanya, is that whenever we talk with oppressors, right, whether it be a battle, well, majority of the time it's a battle, right, or they just come and ask us questions, of trying to have a dialogue, right, and want to find out what we're about, they always come from a position that they're over us. They always come from a position that they know more than us and we know nothing.
Yep.
They use their big words and their fancy punctuation. Charlie tried to get all technical with the empathy term, right? You're trying to say, oh, I wasn't, I hate the word empathy. I'd rather use the word sympathy, right? That in itself is white supremacy. And that shows you that white supremacy is not just the KKK, is not just white supremacist groups. It's ingrained in this society. It's ingrained in this religion. You understand? And Martin Luther King right there himself. Go ahead, sir.
No, I'm sorry, my bad, Salaki. I was going to get on these this image right here.
It's the epitome of, what selling out to white supremacy did to the black community. Right. You throw any other leader, prominent so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American leader, and they're going to be the epitome of what selling your people out to white supremacy did. That's why Charlie Kirk was talking all that massa about drugs and fentanyl and crime with our people. This is the reason why. Because our leaders, our supposed leaders, have sold us out to y'all. You understand? But this picture right here, this image right here is why Fluffy said what he said. Is why just you had people cry about, Charlie Kirk passing. That's why you have so many Christians, people that I see so much, that never even share one video of Charlie Kirk. All of a sudden coming out and crying for him and showing their condolences. I'm gonna show you in a minute who I have empathy for, who I have my condolences for. But it damn sure isn't Charlie Kirk or his family. I care less. You understand? You can call me whatever. I have no empathy for a man who doesn't believe in empathy. And his family doesn't believe in empathy. So there you go.
And then if I could talk about this image right here. First off, let's get this clear. Like, this is the, standard of people that's righteous and, stood for something that's righteous. Abraham Lincoln, if he did not own slaves, which majority of the presidents have, you know what I mean? Because that was a common wealth back then, but he didn't care that, listen, the narrative is he freed the slaves. No, he didn't. He said that, if I had another way to get the South to come with the North, I would do it, because that was his own mission, to make the North, come together with the South, because the South was getting bigger than the North. So that's the only reason why that Civil War happened. Civil War happened because of power and greed. You understand? And the South was getting bigger. He said that if it was another way that I can do this, I would not free the slaves. I have no opinion of the slaves. I don't care about it. And is that Reagan right there?
Say again?
No, that's John F. Kennedy, huh?
Yeah, John
F. Kennedy was another, a devil that you think that cared about black people. He didn't. Martin Luther King, he was a lustful pig that liked white women and had orgies. They call him Orgy Mike. You know what I'm saying? And the next guy, which Charlie Kirk, whatever his name is. What is his name again? Charlie Kirk. Yeah, Charlie Kirk. he hates blacks and Latinos and Native Indians. You know, the proof is in the pudding. You know, and that last man is not Jesus Christ. That is the devil. You understand? And his name is Caesar Borgia. You know, and he had sex with his sister. He had sex with his sister. So all these people right here are disgusting. And that is not, like I said, that's not Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is a black man from the tribe of Judah. You understand? That's coming back and to put, you know, what's his name again? Salakia.
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk and his people into slavery. That's why Jesus Christ is coming back to do that and put blacks and Latinos and Native Indians back on top.
I got such a beautiful picture to share. You know, for you Christians out there, don't worry. Yeah, he went up there. He went to heaven. I know y'all so worried and concerned about how it's they're gonna be all right. Best believe Charlie Kirk made it to heaven. You understand? He made it to heaven. He's good, and I'm gonna show you. There's even evidence of him in heaven. You understand? There's evidence of him in heaven. Let me show you. I found look what picture surfaced around. You know of Charlie Kirk in heaven. Let me show y'all real quick. Just give me 1 second. Here's Charlie Kirk in heaven. Let me see if I can enlarge this picture some more, man. This is Charlie Kirk. Here he is. Here he is. Here he is, white man and woman. He's right here for y'all. Look at how beautiful. Y'all see this? Let me see if I can enlarge it. I want to enlarge this real quick. For y'all, man, he made it to heaven, y'all. He's in heaven. You understand? There's Charlie Kirk. Here, let me get a better picture because that one is a little, you know. Come on, let me find let me enlarge the picture and show you a better image, man. There's your man, white man and woman. There's your man's in heaven, man. He made it. He made it, man. He made it. You know, he was at the pearly gates. You know, he found God. He gave his life to Jesus. Here's a better image. There you go, sir. You see that image right there? Look at that. There you go, y'all. There's Charlie Kirk in heaven. And that's the first thing he saw when he went up there. What say you now, Christians? What say you now, Trumpers? What say you now, all y'all that are crying about Charlie Kirk?
And how, you know, Charlie Kirk left about how black people don't got fathers because he think that we run out of our women lives and things like that, which is not true. It's systematically oppression that made it happen, and you know that's how we was out of our women lives and things like that, and our kid lives and things like that. Also, you know, the narrative is that we still is at a high rate today, and it is not. You know, we are actively in our kids' lives, you know, more than ever. You know what I mean? But have him tell it, you know, we fatherless, you know what I mean, and things like that. His kids are fatherless now.
I'll find it now.
His kids don't have a father now.
Right.
His kids got to grow up without a father now because of the things that you said out of your filthy mouth. You should shut up when you're talking about blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians next time.
Right, sir. And you know, let's see this real quick. The things that he was saying. Here it goes. I found the reel right here.
You say, I hope they are qualified. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman. I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Thomas Sowell and Justice Clarence Thomas are far better black role models to celebrate than Martin Luther King, period. End of story. This guy is not worthy of a national holiday. He is not worthy of godlike status. In fact, I think it's really hard. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52. I'm going to trust the Lord. I know what we're saying is true. I was disappointed.
He said you had to steal some white person's slot to be taken seriously. You know what he's really saying when he's saying that? That only white people get taken seriously. That's what he's saying.
Yep.
Like, I mean, how much
that's
more,
a fact.
You know?
Pointed because I said, listen, guys, you could hate what I'm doing. You could criticize it.
You live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist. Okay? I live what I believe. No. What do I do? I get
Joy Reid.
Damn, did he just call him a chink?
I think he said Ching. Because I think the guy's name was Ching, but he might have, you know what? He might have actually said
oh, no.
Sure. Or Salakia, Ching, because I don't want to get this flag for hate speech. It was Ching.
Oh, Ching.
Come. You understand? But that's the whole thing with Charlie Kirk. There's just one more thing that I want to place here, and then we're gonna get in. You know, and there's a scripture I want to share. Right? Is it Proverbs 2:21? We'll go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 21. Because this is what explains Charlie Kirk. I believe that's the right scripture. No, that's not it. Is it
Proverbs 2 what?
It's the scripture that says it in the what is it? In the life and death hang in the power of the tongue, or in the power of the tongue hang life and death.
Oh, okay.
Remember that New Testament in James.
Oh, in James, okay, kind.
Just look up James on your thing and put in life and death on the tongue.
Come.
It'll come up.
Because, you know, like, Charlie Kirk says some things, right? Oh, here we go. Yeah, you're Proverbs 18:21, sir.
Yeah, 18:21, yeah. Want me to read it?
Come, if you could, sir.
Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
Right. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Damn. And that isn't any more evident than what happened to Charlie Kirk. And I'm gonna show you the proof. Now I'm gonna go to this video right here.
We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
He said it was that he thought it'd be necessary.
We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun.
This is how it works.
That is nonsense.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great. It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
And this is how it ended.
Yeah, man.
There goes your man, Charlie Kirk.
Stop, folks. Stop.
You understand? In the power of the tongue, right? Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
Damn right.
You understand? So that's that shows you a lot. So to answer the question, why should we have empathy for Charlie Kirk? We shouldn't. Or Salaki, how do I say that? I'm gonna tell you this so far. Who we should have empathy for? We should have empathy for the family of Silverio. What's that brother's name? The brother that passed away in Chicago. Right. That has eyes. That's who you should have empathy for. You should have empathy for the family of George Floyd. That's who you should have empathy for. And right. Have empathy for the family of George Floyd. Find that brother's name, right? That's who you should have for Kilmar and Brego Garcia. That's who you should have empathy for. You understand? That's who you should have empathy for. Charlie Kirk's family, his wife, his kids, they're gonna be all right. They live in their kingdom, and obviously the whole world is supporting them. Right. Meanwhile,
they got the whole world.
Remember the family of that brother in Chicago, right? Who do you think is gonna come together for them? There's protests, right? But what do you think Donald Trump's gonna say in regards to that family? What do you think America is gonna say in regards? He's gonna say, well, he shouldn't have came over here illegally. He shouldn't have came here, right? Just like they said to that one brother that passed away right here, out here on the 210 freeway. You understand? But Salaki, sir, that was about, it, man. I know we at the top of the hour. Was there anything you wanted to bring out, sir?
That's it. That's it.
Salaki. Oh, so yeah, what's up?
Oh, no, it's all good. The water for having me again, Israel, pay your tithes, we got to learn something from this, that, the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, that's about it.
Concert. Salaki. With that, man, stay tuned. Lord, I'll be going live Monday night. We'll go more into it, man. Do a part 2 to this because I want to go over that incident in Chicago in Franklin Park. And what that brother's name, Silverio. That was his name, right? Silverio. And I just want to get this brother's name, man, because I don't want to, Right, here we go. Silverio Villegas Gonzalez. That's who we gonna have empathy for, man. And his family. Lord be with them. You understand? But with that, we'll be back at it again next week. I'll play the promo real quick for the cookout.
All right, all right.
Yeah, with that, man, I don't want the water for hopping on with us. We'll be back at it again Monday, man. Hey, shalom, Israel.
que si lo gano ya estuvo, y si lo pierdo ni modo, porque yo soy de los hombres que cuando pierdo no lloro. Las mujeres son barajas que hay que saber barajear para saber cuál es la tuya, es la que vas a apostar, no ya después de perdido quieras volver a jugar. Y si juegas sin malicia, porque no les tienes miedo, esperando a sota de oros, te aparece un caballero. Dispense mi buen amigo, es que yo llegué primero. Y no se agüite pariente quitío, que mejorcita las hemos deseado. Hay que aguantar la vara, señor, y arriba la laguna seca.